Congratulations. Thank you so much.
All right, from St. Louis University, we have head coach Rebecca Tillett and student athletes Alyssa Kirkenmeyer and Zaya Nugent. We'll start with an opening statement from Coach Tillett. Coach?
Really excited for our women, really excited for their determination, their toughness. They kept thinking through the game today, and we thought that was going to be really, really important to our success. As you guys know, we've had some challenging outcomes leading into this tournament, yet we felt all along that we were a together team, a team that loved each other and was learning, and I thought our women really committed to staying in that place and believing that something good could happen today.
All right, questions for the student athletes only, please.
Hi, Hi, Alana Miracle. I'm Alana Miracle. I'm a student at Norfolk State and a part of the A10 student program. And listen, for you, this is your first collegiate tournament, and the pressure didn't seem to get to you. You had 21 points, 5 blocks, and 14 rebounds. What did you learn about yourself in today's game, with this being your first ever collegiate tournament game?
I just really focused on doing it for my teammates, doing it for my coaches. This is a really special group, and I think as the game goes on, I just get more comfortable as we start hitting shots, as I start making some. So I think I learned that it's just the people around you.
Zach.
Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. Zaya, your understanding of what it takes to win this time of year, what do you think the ladies bottled from that really brought it across the finish line today?
Yeah, I think, Coach Tillett brought me here for a reason, and was to help lead these girls into moments like this. And I think today we did that. I mean, we didn't have a good regular season, but, when you come to the tournament, it's 0-0, and anything can happen. And I think today we just showed that, we're ready to fight, and we're ready to win the rest of the games that we have ahead of us.
Daniel.
Daniel Frank from A10 Talk. At the end of the first half, Fordham closes on the run, hits the buzzer beater, makes a game, a 6-1 game instead of 12. So in the second half, Fordham kept throwing haymakers. They could get it down to 1 and get it down to 2. You guys were able to keep them at bay throughout the second half. What went into that defensively just to hold the fort?
I would just say our togetherness. Basketball is all about runs, and of course they're going to go on a run. It's just how do you stop the bleeding? And I think today we did that, and you learn in those moments. I think we've had moments like that in our regular season games that we couldn't get those stops in the second half, and I think today was a growth moment for us, and we'll continue to do that throughout the tournament.
Go ahead.
Alana again, Norfolk State A10 student. For both of you guys, this is your first season with St. Louis, and you learned a lot about yourselves in today's game. As the competition continues to get tougher, what are you guys going to be working on and looking forward to make those stops and continue to grow?
Yeah, I think basketball is always a game of errors. You can't play a perfect game, but it's just really focusing on limiting, the ones that you're getting, and just finding good looks, finding the open teammate, making the right read, and I think that's really something we're all going to be focusing on as we continue on in this tournament.
Yeah, just to piggyback off of her, just limit the mistakes, and every possession matters in times like this, because one possession can change the whole game. So, focus on our possessions, and make sure we win that possession, and then just take one step at a time with that.
Zach.
You can say whatever you want about numbers, but a lot of times in March it's connection that wins, and you had 10 assists on 12 made baskets in that first half. Just what does that say about how connected you are and how you're able to find each other for your next?
Right, it just shows, our connections that we built off the floor. When you build those connections off the floor, it translates to on the court, and I think today we did that. We've been putting goals up there like, hey, we need this many assists this game, and I think today we just showed that we're capable of doing that, and I think the more we keep sharing it, the more the rim opens up for everybody, and then on any given night, anybody can have 20 points, and that's what happened today, or tonight, however you want to say it.
Yeah, I think a confident pass instills confidence in your teammate and gets them to hit the shot, so I think that's what happened in that first half.
Any other questions of student athletes? Okay, ladies, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Zaya.
Alana, once again, A10 student from Norfolk State. In the first quarter, your opponent got 10 points off of second chance shots, but for the rest of the game, they only got 10 more points the entire rest of the game. What adjustment did you make to make those stops so they wouldn't get any more second chance points?
Great question, and love that you're in the program, and you've asked some really good questions already. For us, we have huge respect for Fordham's ability to offensive rebound. It's something we've talked about. This is our third time playing them. So in those moments with your team, you know, as a staff, we have to instill confidence that we can get those stops and also say enough of that. So we were definitely talking about that after the first quarter, said we've got to make an adjustment to that, and I think our women did a great job locking in on that.
Daniel.
How important was Alyssa for you guys tonight? I mean, there have been several games throughout the year where she's really shined, and there's been some games against top opponents that she struggled in. And for her to shine on this stage for you guys tonight, what was that? How important was that for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was critically important. Anyone that's watched the course of her season, it's just defined by consistent improvement on a steep incline. And she got better today. So every day she's been doing that in practice settings and game settings, and we needed her to do that today to be successful. We can't say enough about what she's done for our program already in this time, and she's a great example of what can happen if you completely immerse yourself in investing in the process. We talk often about what if all of us did what our grandparents asked us to do all the time? Like everyone in here is nodding, right? Because if we all did everything our grandparents asked us to do, our life would probably be even better than it is right now. And Alyssa does everything that the coaching staff asks her to do. She does everything that the veteran players ask her to do. And that has led her to an early historic start to her career as Rookie of the Year.
Zach.
Zach Weiss, Atlantic10.com. How close were you to 212 today, and down the stretch, what did it take to get to that degree?
Good question. Well, first of all, when we walked out right before the game, it was 212. So we were like, all right, good signs already. I think our team was pretty close. I'd give us like a 207. I think there were definitely some moments where we were hitting 212 defensively and offensively, and I think really what it is how connected. Like there were some defensive possessions where we were really connected, had each other's backs on particular actions, knew the scout in detail, and then there were some beautiful offensive possessions that we've been working for so long. We've had, you know, some challenges putting them together, and so we still believe we have not played our best game yet, and in the tournament, if you can find the right day to play your best game, something magical can happen.
Daniel.
I guess to follow up on that, it's no secret that you have had some historic success in tournament formats, especially in the A10 tournament. Facing LaSalle tomorrow, it's a team you guys have already beat on the road at their place back in January. Is there a comfortability with where you're at with your team, how you're playing, and also with just the format as a whole?
Great question. I don't think you take comfort in the previous result because we're different teams now, especially with how long it's been since we've played each other. So they've gotten better, obviously, to earn the 6th seed. We have gotten better despite our record. And I think anybody that really knows the game and watches the game has watched our team get better. We've had, you know, we'd shore up one thing that was a challenge, and then something else would slip a little bit. And then we'd shore up something else, and then something new would pop up. So for us, it's can we get that consistency on the same day? And I think flat out, my job is to get our team to play our best, and we haven't seen it yet. So what does it look like if we do that against LaSalle tomorrow?
You guys had a consistent field goal percentage between that 40%, 50% percentage mark, but coming out of halftime, your three-point percentage was significantly lower. You guys didn't attempt any three-pointers in the third quarter and only attempted 3 in the fourth. Was there a reason behind that, or was it just a blow?
I think some of it had to do with some of the defensive changes that they made. I also think our team was working really, really hard to find the best shot in the possession. We've had an interesting relationship with the three-point shot this year. We've got players that can absolutely knock it down. So really happy that we were efficient tonight. I think they're building as a unit their confidence of how many should we be attempting a game right now with where we are. Love our percentage. Would have liked us to take a few more, honestly, and certainly would have liked us to take some in the third. So yeah, good pickup by you, and we'll keep working on that for tomorrow.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
I can't hear you. Okay. All right, from Fordham University, head coach Bridgette Mitchell, Corinne Easley, and London Lively. Opening statement from Coach Mitchell first, please.
Really proud of our freshmen showing the potential and the future for Fordham women's basketball, playing with the tenacity and grit that they did. Kudos to SLU, in executing their game plan. I think that we have really showed this year what our youth is capable of. So I'm really looking forward to our future.
Okay, questions for the student athletes only. Any questions? Right here. Hold on, wait for the microphone.
Karen Tucker, Austin, WFUV Sports. Karen, great rookie year. You took a lot of steps in your development this season. What was the most memorable part of this year for you?
Just building relationships with my teammates. Fighting with them through everything in every game. It was a good season. We all just fought together. No matter the outcome, we still fought.
Right here.
London, this was your first game since January 25th when you got injured at GW. Just for you, how did you feel getting back out on the court and putting up 10 points in 11 minutes? How did your body feel today?
It was definitely difficult. I definitely felt that first win a little tired, but I feel like once I got on the flow of things, it was just really easy for me. I felt like I really just wanted to get an opportunity and show out for my seniors because it's their last run, and we hadn't had the best season, but we were going into it saying that we were beating everybody, packed for a whole week. So it was nice being able to get into the flow of things and really being there for my teammates. So.
Alana.
Alana Marable, A10 student program, also a student at Norfolk State. For both of you guys, this was your first collegiate tournament with the A10. What did you learn about yourselves for the future moving forward with doing a big tournament like this?
You got to be ready to fight. Like, it's not going to be easy at all. And I think we both came to play, we came to fight, and we weren't scared. So.
Yeah, like I said earlier, like we came to stay. Like we packed for a whole week, so it's just like we came in with the mentality that we were going to beat everybody who came in front of us. And I feel like even though we didn't come out with the outcome that we wanted, that we still displayed that. And I feel like everybody on the team did. So really, I guess I just learned like you got to keep pushing, like regardless of the outcome, because I feel like if we all didn't have that mentality, then that game would have looked a lot worse on our end. So yeah.
Right here.
Karen, 23 points today, your career high. How did it feel to drop that many points in this game where it's a winner go home? And you got the type of trust that from Coach Bridgette Mitchell, 32 minutes in today's game.
It felt really good. I feel like my shots were falling. I just had like a good flow. And just being able to come out and fight and compete, it just felt good. You know, Sorry.
Other questions of student athletes? Okay. Ladies, thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're good to go.
Thank you.
Good job, y'all.
All right, questions for Coach Mitchell? Kurt.
Coach, I know you're in your opening statement, you talked about Karen Easley and London Willie, how important they were to today's game, how proud you were of them. But could you just speak a little bit more on that youth movement and how the future is looking for the school program with the youth that you have recruited here?
Yeah, I think that what I mentioned this last year in terms of ending the season and our identity. We are going to pride ourselves on, I'm happy with the comments that they made because we're not going to quit. It's hard to beat a team that isn't going to quit. And I think that the things that we have in place from a tenacity, from a grit, from a culture standpoint are really strong. They're a great foundation. We just have to clean up a few other things in terms of our ability to score. We forced them into 12 turnovers and we didn't capitalize on them very much today. We went 9 for 21 from the free throw line, right? So there's some offensive skill stuff that we still need to clean up, and it shows in stat sheets, but from a identity of who we are and what Fordham women's basketball is about from a defensive standpoint, that is established and it's staying. And so finding players that fit that mold that are also capable of scoring is what we're going to be looking for as we enter this recruiting period.
Alana.
Coach, you guys' field goal percentage dropped from 43.8% in the first quarter to 26.7% in the second quarter, but then you guys bounced back to 43.8% in the third quarter. What did you see happen that made that negative slope, and then how did you guys make that adjustment to bounce back in the third quarter?
Yeah, we started moving the ball and getting downhill, making them defend a little bit more from getting ball reversals. We talked about how the ball was being stuck on one side of the court, and so we looked to get movement.
Right here.
Bridgette, throughout the season, you've spoken to us about energy, effort, and focus being the three things you look at, whether you win a game or whether you lose it. What did you see in your team today in terms of energy, effort, and focus?
Yeah, we didn't sustain the effort. There were too many opportunities. We talked about this in the huddle and things at halftime where we left their shooters open. We know that they only have one true shooter, and we gave her wide open looks, and then other people that are capable, right? So like if they hit one, we adjust, and we just gave up too many freebies. So our urgency and our sense of effort wasn't there for the duration of the game. I do think that we had bright moments. It wasn't just the freshmen. There were a lot of things that Kayla Berry was doing defensively that Precious was able to do in the post and our presence, and Clutch and Mason, just being tenacious on-ball defenders, and so we were a bit disruptive, but it wasn't enough for 40 minutes to sustain for a whole game.
Up here, Tucker.
Coach, you just mentioned Kayla Berry, but I want to talk about her. She's a four-year player who's probably moving on, and then Tia Morgan and Ornella Yankin also came into the program this year, but without the eligibility to keep going. Can you just talk about the contributions that they were able to make in their time with Fordham women's basketball?
Yeah, we harp on our players, my staff and I, about consistency, and that's our goal. And so we ask them constantly to lead in how they show up. Right? It's challenging to play Division I basketball at this level. The A-10 basketball is real basketball. It's challenging, and you have to show up every day, and not just every day for practice. It's for games as well. And so we talked about that at length, and challenged all of our players to do that. I think that when it comes to Kayla and Lala and Tia, I think that with them being, when it comes to Ornella, and Timo, with them being new additions, I thought that they came in and really tried to do that. And I think that their contributions were noticed by their teammates. And I think that Kayla being able to sustain and stay for her years speaks to how determined she is as a young woman. And so her future is very bright as she leaves basketball.
Daniel.
Daniel Frank from A10 Talk. You guys had the big end to the first half. You got the 12-point deficit down to 6. And then it felt like throughout the second half, you guys kept getting it down to within one possession, 1 to 2 points at a time, where you couldn't quite get over the hump. What do you feel like was the difference in the game from that perspective, where you get it close but just couldn't quite get over that hump?
Yeah, we kept fouling. The foul calls, and then when we went to the free throw line, going 9 for 21, we're leaving a lot of open points on the table. But during that stretch specifically that you're talking about, we fouled way too much and left it into the officials' hands as far as 50-50 plays, if it's you or them. And we didn't have enough opportunities during that stretch where it was our ball.
Bridget, we just had Clutch in London here. Mace is giving you great contributions, your freshman class. You have Adora in Denver coming in next season. Just in terms of the players you have coming in and the foundation you have with these young freshmen, how excited are you moving forward to build around them and also continuing to reload and get this team where you want it to be?
Yeah, I'm really excited about it. I think that the names that you mentioned, you guys already saw those 3. It's a mentality when you're a guard and you're in the A-10. You got to be gritty. It shows with freshmen winning 6th Player of the Year in this conference, right? Like it shows the opportunity that you're gonna get. I've played freshmen since I got here, and you're gonna have that chance. What are you going to do with it? And it's up to my staff and I to continue to prepare them for how difficult and long a season is, and make sure that they're ready from that perspective. But you're going to see very similar guards. You saw Taylor Donaldson for the past 2 years playing on both sides of the ball. You see that this year as well with our freshmen. And so this as we continue to build, you're going to see that.
All right, 2 more questions. Tucker.
Coach, can you tell us anything about the status of Alexis Black or what you saw at the end of the first half when she made that contact with Kirkmeyer?
Yeah, she's fine. There was a lot of contact out there today. Everybody went down.
Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thanks.